the words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and the righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. So we are going to talk about the fallen angels a bit here, because this is an important issue that I have addressed several times, and I really want this to sink in. A lot of confusion about these things comes from the fact that these beings go by different identities, very hard to track. And that is where we look at these ancient texts and recognize who is who in the context given. Now, one of the things we have to keep in mind is that there's the Bible, and then there is Christian mythology. Because the book of Enoch is not commonly considered canon in many parts of the world, it is considered Christian mythology, and within that mythology, we have some names of angels who fell. See, without this context that was intended to go along with the text of the Bible, there is difficulty understanding who's who. For example, who was the angel that led the other angels to go to earth and take the daughters of men? It wasn't Satan the devil. Shemyaza, good guess, close but not quite. It was Jaquan, and Asbiel, and Gadriel. You know what? I'm telling you, these names are tricky. They appear, disappear, you don't know who's doing what. No joke. Go do some research on gods and fallen angels, and I mean some deep research. You will see names you never heard of. Depending on the translation, it is very difficult to keep up. And understand, this is a bit different from the angel commonly known as Lucifer and his rebellion. Lucifer challenged God in that he could get men to worship him instead. What these angels did was an act of lust and sabotage as well. They just said, freak it. I'm telling you, there is some deep information in angelic studies. For example, how many of you know who the Grigori are? The Watchers. A different class of angel, more human-like than the other angels. These were the angels that interacted with humans as they began to multiply. See, folks, I do not want to distort what you know about this. I just want you to have the most accurate information concerning this, which means you must know about these other takes on the subject to form an educated opinion about the matter. Those of you who may have not heard of this angel, let me fill you in on what the book of Enoch reads. But first of all, when we think of a name like Satan, we usually attribute that to one of the fallen angels. But here in the book of Enoch and other texts, there are Satans, plural. It is not one fallen angel, but a small group of 5. Listen, chapter 69 reads, the names and functions of the fallen angels and Satan's, the secret oath. Let me just give you a bit of context before I show you what it says. When these angels came down to earth, they took it upon themselves to teach mankind certain things, secrets. This, in the eyes of God, was the same as them running around pretending to be God. Another thing to keep in mind is that angels in heaven don't accept worship, only God and the fallen. And so because of the unsanctioned interactions with mankind, the punishment was extremely severe. Michael and Raphael were astonished at how severe the punishment on those fallen angels would be at the time of judgment. And so it says, listen closely, and after this judgment they shall terrify and make them to tremble, because they have shown this to those who dwell on the earth. Then the book gives you 21 names of the fallen who were under the command of the chief angels, or in this case, the 5 Satans. See here, it was 5 different angels that led this entire movement, not just one. And these are the chiefs of their angels and their names, and their chief ones over hundreds, and over 50s, and over 10s. Okay, so according to the Cardinal Bishop of Tuscum, the book of Revelation reveals that 1/3 of heaven's angels fell for 9 days, and the estimated number was 133,306,668, and as a result, leaving 266,613,336 remaining in heaven. Now, Enoch does not name all 200 that fell in his account, only a few. But it is believed that a few of the angels that fell from each of the 3 spheres, or 9 orders, created a 10th order, retaining their rank. So now, the name of the first, Jaquan, that is, the one who led astray all the sons of God, and brought them down to the earth, and led them astray through the daughters of men. So, this is their ringleader. And the second was named Asbiel. He imparted to the holy sons of God evil counsel, and led them astray, so that they defiled their bodies with the daughters of men. In other words, Asbiel is the one who instructed them on the means of changing form to be with the daughters of men. Now, this next angel is very interesting. And the third was named Gadriel. He it is who showed the children of men all the blows of death. And he led astray Eve, and showed the weapons of death to the sons of men, the shield and the coat of mail, and the sword for battle, and all the weapons of death to the children of men. And from his hand they have proceeded against those who dwell on the earth from that day and forevermore. This is the fallen angel who seduced Eve in the Garden of Eden. And we were told it was Satan. Well, that's true, but as you can see, not the Satan most people think it is. And the fourth was named Penemu. He taught the children of men the bitter and the sweet, and he taught them all the secrets of their wisdom. And he instructed mankind in writing with ink and paper, and thereby many sinned from eternity to eternity, and until this day. For men were not created for such a purpose, to give confirmation to their good faith with pen and ink. Now, this is found to be particularly interesting because here it claims that the fallen angels were the ones that taught man how to write, how to record and document, which is something that I guess God did not intend for us to do in the beginning. For men were created exactly like the angels, to the intent that they should continue pure and righteous, and death, which destroys everything, could not have taken hold of them. But through this their knowledge they are perishing, and through this power it is consuming me. And the fifth was named Kasdea. This is he who showed the children of men all the wicked smitings of spirits and demons, and the smitings of the embryo in the womb, that it may pass away, and the smitings of the soul, the bites of the serpent, and the smitings which befall through the noontide heat, the son of the serpent, named Tobiah. And this is the angel that taught men how to slay demons and spirits. He also taught men abortion. So let me just try and paint a picture for you. Just an overview of the angelic population, just to gain a better understanding of who is who. Now, an angel by several definitions is a spiritual being acting as an agent or a messenger for the supreme being, God. We are not sure exactly how many of them are, but many believe and estimate the population of angelic beings to be in the hundreds of millions, as I've stated before. So, there is a hierarchy. Within this hierarchy, also known as the 9 choirs or orders of angels, there are 3 spheres of angels, and each sphere contains ranks and classes for each type of angel. In the first sphere, there are the seraphim, the cherubim, and the thrones. In the second sphere, there are the dominions or lordships, virtues or strongholds, and power or authorities. And in the third sphere, there are the principalities or rulers, archangels, and angels. And then there is Metatron, who is supposedly Enoch, in a class by himself and to God, and is the angel who descended to earth to become the man we know, not a sentient being or soul, should I say. Lucifer is also of the seraphim class, as well as Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. There are quite a few in this class, and I mean several other angels. Of the fallen angels, there were, of course, Lucifer, Satan, Leviathan, and Belial, Abaddon or Apollyon. There are the cherubim.
If your summer looked like this, chances are your lawn looks like this. Fortunately, Scott's Turf Builder can repair the wear and tear, so you can keep the fun going long into the fall.
Who guard the path to the tree of life in God's throne. They have 4 faces, and one of a man, one of a lion, one of an ox, and one of an eagle. They have 4 feet and the hooves of an ox, with a lion's body. Of the fallen cherubim were Azazel, who is also of the seraphim, Beelzebub, and a few others. Then there are the thrones, also described as the fiery wheels of God's throne, also known as the Ophanim. They are identified as color-changing spheres with many eyes. The purpose of the thrones, they are there to carry God's throne. They also have connections to the planets and constellations. And even more of the thrones fell than the cherubim or seraphim. Do you see the pattern here? It is the same with humans. When our leaders do something, and I'm not just talking about political leaders, but when our parents, our brothers and our sisters, our elders, our friends do something, many of us follow suit regardless of the consequences. Now, so far, the description of these beings, without exception from a human perspective, is quite bizarre. Why is that? Think about this for a moment. With everything we know about science, physics, animal biology, why would an angel need wings at all? Well, not all of them have wings, but I mean, seriously, think about this. Why would God design a being that had 4 heads of different animals, including that of a man? The same description of John Carpenter's The Thing. So we can only gather that these are more symbolic descriptions rather than actual physical descriptions, of course, unless these are attributes of angels to help them identify each other in regards to rank and age. These descriptions still remain mostly metaphoric. So, in the second sphere, we basically have again 3 classes: dominions, virtues, and powers. Now, these are the angels that are more human-like. They are the ones that we think of as beautiful, glowing humans. By the way, in angelology, there are both male and female angels, although they are most commonly known to be neither sex. Again, we are supposed to be like them, not the other way around. Dominions work as the guardians of the other lower class angels. virtues, they create miracles, they create signs, and the powers are the angels who protect the balance of the universe. That includes fighting demons. They are the battle angels. For the most part, the second sphere of angels, these are the guardians, the police of the universe, who govern the lower body of angels and ensure order in God's kingdom. Again, we have quite a few in this sphere who fell, including Belial, also a seraphim angel, Ariel, Haman, Amy, and a few others. By the way, there was a movie released some time ago called Hereditary. And in this movie, there is a reference to Payment, or King Payment. Needless to say, the story behind this fallen angel is quite interesting. And yes, this is what our children are doing these days for Halloween, dressing up like a demon incarnate. Was this some twisted adult's idea? Because how did this kid end up watching such a film? What's wrong with dressing like a demon on Halloween? You moron. Now, the third sphere, these are the angels that interact with humans. These are the ones that send messages and are ultimately responsible for guiding mankind. Remember, God doesn't do anything directly. He speaks it and it is so. And the angels make certain that it is so. In this sphere, you have principalities who are really the closest human guiding angels, the most influential, especially when it comes to blessings and music and art. Then there are archangels, which is not to be confused with the 7 archangels: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Raguel, Remiel, and Sariel. The lowercase a archangels are just above regular angels, the lowest and youngest class, mostly made up of guardian angels, closely guiding and watching over humans. Dagon, Moloch, Arakiel, and Asbiel are of a few in the sphere that fell that you may have heard of. So, according to the Book of Enoch, the Bible, and a few other doctrines, we have the 200 that fell with Samyaza and Jaquan, and the 1/3 that fell with Lucifer, which could have been well over 130 million angels. The majority of them being of the lower or youngest of the angels, in class and age. And just like human children, they can do wrong. However, when it comes to angels, there are no mistakes. All the angels, every single last one, knew of a guaranteed consequence to their actions. Not, oh, I might be banished to hell or destroyed forever. No, they knew what was going to happen to them 100%. You know, one thing I do firmly believe is that man was created by a superior intelligence far beyond our understanding. I did a video on Sumerian mythology and human origins, and the stories, the hierarchy of these entities, seems very similar. There is no other being on the planet, no plant, no animal, that is as intelligent as human beings. Not one of them even come close. Oh, but the dolphins. Oh, the dolphins. What about monkeys? They can use rocks and sticks and do stuff. Yeah, they may be as smart as you, but the rest of us, no. Evolution. You know, you want to be a damn dirty ape? That's what you want to be? A descendant of them? Right now, we are living in an age where these once angelic beings rule the world. They really do. And until you realize and accept that, you will never gain a better understanding of what they are doing right now, until we gather all the information we can on them. That means not omitting information. You see, I believe that a day may come where these entities will reveal themselves. I mean, they have been since the beginning of man. Why stop now? And this book, the Book of Enoch, Christ is discussed, known as the Lord of Spirits. See, many of these texts are suppressed because they simply do not want you to have confirmed beliefs, especially in Christ. Folks, there is a power surrounding this man that is unmatched. There is no other person who is held in such high regard other than Jesus. In the Bible, the book of Enoch, the Quran, the list goes on.